let's get into it, man. The Chicago Bulls started their offseason last night as they officially made a trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who made it all the way over to the Western Conference semifinals, lost 6 games to the Dallas Mavericks. They are getting my guy, Mr. AC, Alex Caruso. He will be joining that great defensive, tandem of him and Lou Dort over there in Oklahoma City, and the Bulls are getting back allegedly, Freak man. Yeah, that's him. Josh Giddey will be joining the Bulls. Now, there's a lot of things about this. We've heard Joe Cowley. We've heard our guy Darnell Mayberry over at The Athletic saying that this could signal the end of the Lonzo Ball era, if it even was an era. Don't believe the things the Lonzo been telling me about. He's playing 5-on-5s. The niggas not playing 5-on-5s. And it's looking like they're either going to waive or try to trade him this offseason. They said that the Bulls are going to be one of the most active teams in this offseason. There's been rumors coming out. Jake Fisher, reporter over there, says that it's looking more and more like LaVine could land in Sacramento. Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, names like that have been floated around that he could land in Sacramento in a 3-team trade between the Bulls and the Kings, some other team. DeMar DeRozan still up in the air. Still a lot of Bulls beat writers think that they're favoring towards him signing a big contract extension because he loves Chicago so much, loves playing here, and also the Bulls love him. He could be back, but there's a lot of things about them trading into the top 10 of the draft. A lot of rumors about the Bulls. My whole thing is this. The actual trade, my only beef with it is I feel like they could have got some type of pick in, even if it's a future pick or a 2027 pick. I believe with all the picks that the Oklahoma City Thunder have, there's no way that you can't get one, especially when you were going to get 2 first-round picks for them at the deadline. But Mr. Jerry Reinsdale said, I need to get that play-in money, my nigga. So just off that, I feel like that's what I was disappointed about. But if you take away the allegations, and I'm gonna say allegations because they did the case and they said they found no wrongdoing. And now I'm not saying what he did. I don't know what the nigga did. I'm just knowing that it don't smell right. But we just gonna go off what they're saying that he didn't do this. But if you're just looking at it from a basketball perspective, I don't hate his addition to the team because of what he brings. Yeah, he got exposed in the playoffs. This is a young team. They don't have the same expectations that the Oklahoma City Thunder does. So from that perspective, you take away the draft pick, I'm not really that mad at it. We'll get into the full plan of the Chicago Bulls in just a minute. Mikey, me and you had this conversation a little bit in the group chat yesterday. What's your thoughts on this particular trade, sending Caruso to OKC and Giddey to the Bulls?
I think if anything, I'm more upset that it goes back to the process, right? So I'm more upset that the organization was so short-sighted a couple months ago, back in January and February, that they had to mandate that no, we cannot move off of Caruso for 2 first-round picks. That was OKC. OKC was offering 2 first-round picks back in February. Same exact team that we ended up dealing with now. But they were mandating that no, you have to make a run for the playoffs. And I just feel like it's super short-sighted because at the end of the day, what were they really vying for? They were vying to get their ass kicked, potentially, if they wanted to play in, which they didn't, potentially to get their head fucking kicked in by, the now NBA champs, the Boston Celtics. So I think that's what bothers me most. Now you can go down so many different layers. Now, one, do we trust this regime with draft picks? No, but I understand that you need to acquire assets for the future. I agree with you. It could have been a 2027 pick. It could have been a 2026 pick, a 2028 pick. Everybody is kind of holding on to those 2025 picks. You got guys like Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, Cooper Flag coming out. I know it's being more regarded as a better draft next year. So you couldn't find a way to pry one of those. So that's my issue there. If we go to the actual player, the swap for swap, I kind of like the Josh Giddey fit, but I like it now. I need to see the overall roster overhaul that they do in a couple weeks and a month. Let me know, holla at me in September, when we see what this roster looks like going to camp, because he can do everything that Lonzo can, but he cannot play defense nowhere near what Lonzo can. He can't even really play defense. He can't fucking shoot the three. So those are two major deficiencies. He's not really that consistent at the free throw line. Yeah, he got better the last 24 games of the regular season, but now you're talking about somebody that's like, is he going to even be on the floor, to close out games? So I like grabbing youth. I like grabbing somebody that can go ahead, pass the ball. You can't.
Yeah,
What?
That was crazy.
My bad.
That was nuts. Grabbing you.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
and in this segment, we're talking about Josh Giddey too, man.
Hey, I like grabbing. I like grabbing more youth on the team and getting away from. I wouldn't keep DeMar. I would move Vooch. Like I'm cool with doing this overhaul because I would like to see what it looks like with Giddey running the point, running the floor. You got Kobe on the wing, Kobe IO. That's nice, but this has to signal, the start of kind of a retooling.
Pav, I'm gonna go to you, man. I know you put on the Hoops and Brews page that you don't hate it. What's your take on the deal?
I think it's a great trade. I think that picks are kind of okay. I know people. You could have got 2 first-round picks, right? But any team that's giving you picks is probably a contender. Meaning you're gonna have 2 late-round picks. Meaning the late-round picks you get are probably never gonna be a player as good as Josh Giddey. Granted, I know Josh Giddey had his struggles in the playoffs, but at the same time, OKC was kind of shifting away. Shea was coming into his own. But Josh Giddey is still 16, 6, and 6 on the worst night. And that was him not even handling the ball that much last season. I think with the Bulls next year, he damn near might win most improved player. He might go up to like 18, 9, and 8 next year. Like Josh Giddey is freaky shit aside. Josh Giddey is a really good basketball player. You talk about
freak man.
And you talk about I know Mikey, you mentioned future assets. This is a future asset. He's 21 years old. How many times do you get to get a top 10 lottery pick who's 21-year-old for Alex Caruso? Shout out Caruso, but motherfucker act like Caruso is Joe Dumars.
Yeah.
Right.
He ain't that damn good though. Like, so you granted, I think it's a great trade. But I think it's a great trade if you're going into a new direction. I swear to God, if you make this trade and you sign DeMar for $120 million, they need to be jailed. You need to trade everybody and just run out there, get everybody. I don't want nobody on the team left. Get everybody out of here and just run out there. Giddey, Kobe, Io, whoever the hell else, and just start anew. Get Zach out of here. Get Vooch out of here. Don't even stop picking up the phone for DeMar. God bless him, but stop picking up the phone for the man. DeMar, you also need to go want to win. Take your ass somewhere else. I know you like Chicago. It ain't that great of a city. Take your ass somewhere else and do something else somewhere else. So for me, I love the trade. I like the trade. I think that they made out well. I think it's probably one of the better moves that they've made. Again, so I like when I looked at that first, I was like, oh, you couldn't get a draft pick, but I'm like, bro, you're not getting OKC not gonna trade you the Clippers pick, which like the 2028 Clippers pick, which might be a great pick. No, they're gonna probably trade you Denver's top 5 protected pick, which is gonna be like the 30th pick in the draft. How many times the 30th pick in the draft even make they make the team, but how many times do they become a impactful player? Like, you're probably not going to get somebody who's as good as Josh Giddey. And I think the picks thing have become some of the most overstated things in basketball, because most of the picks never become as good as the player that you have a chance to acquire actually is.
Or even when you say that, look at it from this scope. Is who the Bulls are going to draft at pick number 11 better than Josh Giddey? No. We already know that this is going to be a weak draft. So grabbing Josh Giddey right now and is already better than whoever will go at pick 11. So I agree with you there. Like, you're taking a chance on somebody that's young that you can build around and see what he got. You're probably going to go ahead and, he's got the leverage now because they traded Caruso for him, and I'm sure he's going to want to get paid. I want to know what this means for somebody like Patrick Williams, though.
Fair.
Paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna